Hey, happy Monday, everybody. Joe, welcome.
Hello. Good morning.
I'll tell you what, I look forward to Mondays. One, I get to spend some time with you, which is great. And you know what? Always good to take a look at what's going on over the weekend and what we might be looking at for the week. So thanks for being here, Joe, to help me do that. I really appreciate that.
Oh, yeah, my pleasure. I love it. I look forward to Mondays too and Fridays. But yeah.
And Fridays, yeah. We can't forget Crypto on the Rocks. I'll tell you what, some of those Crypto on the Rocks shows lately, woo, they've been great,
Yes.
so great. It's funny. I actually was going through one of them yesterday from like I don't know 2 weeks ago maybe now, and I'm like, oh my god, clip, writing it down so I can go do the clip. It's like we had some great conversations. All right, everybody, if you're new here, you know the drill. Hit that subscribe button, tick that bell icon, click the all. We're here every Monday, 11 a.m. Eastern time, talking the markets and everything else. So make sure that you are subscribing. Also, Joe's channel in the description. Make sure you go and follow Joe. Like this, smash it. Go ahead. If you're on Facebook, you know the drill. Thumbs up. Let's see it. All right, let's see who's here real quick. And we got Alexandra G in the house as always. Oh man, I don't know how she makes it to all these places that she gets to, man.
I tell you, she has to have at least 12 monitors minimum.
I know, right? Minimum. Right? It looks like probably NASA or whatever. Yeah. The way she's
a beast. I love it.
It's got to. 100 Air is in the house. 100 Air, appreciate you being here, man. Oh, as always, and of course, Uncle Jesse.
Uncle Jesse.
That's right. I love the fact, Jesse, that you changed your handle right there to Uncle Jesse. That's
because everybody calls him Uncle Jesse.
Yeah, exactly. I get
it.
The
first time he changed it, I was like, "Oh, this is Jesse."
Who's Uncle Jesse?
Yeah, but everybody calls him Uncle Jesse, so that was pretty cool.
Oh, I get it. Oh, 100 is saying on the road again, like Willie Nelson. You know, as soon as you said on the road again, that song like literally popped in my head. I could hear it. Yes. Oh, look, there you go, Joe. 9 monitors. I can so see it too. I'm like, I can see it all laid out right there.
Yep.
That's awesome. All right. Well, let's start this show going. As always, we look at the fear and greed. We look at the debt. We look now at the Doge, because I'm glad that Doge is listed on the debt clock. And we look at, different things that have gone on either over the weekend or we anticipate for the week. And we got a lot of that today because we had some stuff over the weekend, and we have a lot of key economic indicator, oh boy, I need more coffee, information coming out this week from the US, and a bunch of things like some investments from World Liberty Financial that I thought were kind of interesting. So we're going to look at those, and Joe's going to actually look at the charts. He was so good to say he would take care of that. So we're going to dive into that in a second. We should probably start out with the fear and greed index, which right now sitting in here at 32. So we're in fear. I mean, kind of makes sense to me that we're there. I almost would have expected, like, maybe it would be a little bit lower. What about you, Joe?
Yeah, I would think maybe like 27, 25. I would really love to see it back at 10 so we can pick up some more of these discounted prices.
I'll tell you what, we see some downside. We'll see that.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
We'll definitely see that. And you're right, man. Pick it up. I did my normal DCA last week when everything was kind of dropping down. And now I'm talking Bitcoin right now. And I did actually a little bit more trying to kind of jump into that Piper plan a little bit. And for those who don't know that, head on over to Piper's channel. Link is in the description. And he has a Discord. Listen, if you are part of his membership on YouTube, you can get the Piper plan for Bitcoin for free. And I'll tell you what, I'm all about that now. I'm trying. What's the worst that can happen? I can make money. Oh,
right.
You know what I mean? Kill me. Anyway, all right. So there we are. We got some fear in the markets. And you know what, Joe? I know normally this is where we look into the Bitcoin chart, and I'm sure you have that ready to go. But I thought I should bring this up first because we just talked about some fear in the market. And what do you think about this? Whale opens up a $332 million Bitcoin short. That is a crap ton of money right there. I mean, I get it. He's on like 40x leverage. So, but he still put in a considerable amount of money.
Yeah. And there's actually groups out there right now. I'm on Twitter. I'm subscribed to one of the people, and he has, everybody has groups, and some people are fortunate enough to have whales in their groups. And this particular guy, he has whales in his group, and he said, "This guy's doing a short. This is a call out to all my whales out there. Let's wreck them." So it's pretty much like the GameStop. It's like let's wreck these people. These people got money. Let's take it from them. So that's what they're doing. They're getting organized. So it's gonna be exciting to see what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, Piper was saying he thought he might have already closed this out. I honestly didn't go look. I saw this and I'm like, this guy obviously still thinks that there's some, significant downside to come in the market. And I get it. I mean, Bitcoin, in my opinion, and I'll wait to see your chart, but in my opinion, hasn't really been all that strong with regard to price action. And so, that, and then you see these shorts that just kind of adds to the whole fear thing, if you're asking me. But here's the thing, I did hear about what you just said about these groups trying to like wreck this guy, and I don't know, I'm not really liking that very much, Joe. It's like, dude, let the guy do what the guy's gonna do. I don't know. I wonder if they would do the same thing if he had put in that as a long. You know what I mean? Would they then try to?
No, because everybody wants Bitcoin to go up. Everybody, like, if Bitcoin goes up, the market will go up. So by him shorting it, like he wants it to go down, and if Bitcoin goes down, then the alts get wrecked. So to me, it just reminds me a whole bunch of that movie called Dumb Money, and I love that movie. I watched that movie several times, but it just reminds me of that. So yeah, I mean, I'm currently in a short. I've been in a short for like a day or two now, so hopefully it continues to do well. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I agree with you, Joe. If it was a long, we probably wouldn't even have this conversation right now. And look at this, 100 days prepping right here. Take the order, Joe.
Not financial advice, guys.
Exactly. The old, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, old guy. At least this guy's an old guy anyway. Joe's still a young pup right there. But
97, my friend, 97.
All right, Joe, are you ready to take a quick look at Bitcoin? And then I got some positive Bitcoin news on the other side. Here we go.
All right, so this is Bitcoin. This is on the 1 hour time frame. I love looking at Bitcoin on the 1 hour time frame. If you're not watching me, definitely watch me. I go Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So right after this show, we're going right over there.
Yes,
and
we are.
I explain all this stuff. I explain all the levels and everything else. But this was a level that we were looking at where the price came up. Then it started going sideways, being very boring. So we do our little box, our little zone, and we anticipate that it might come down here to maybe about the 50% mark, which would be right in line with our dotted line from the previous cycle. And sure enough, the plan. So everybody, they'll say it's going to go up or it's going to go down, but they never say what they're leaning more towards. For me, what I always do is I let you know, it could do this or it could do this, but I'm thinking more along the lines of higher percentage of it doing this. Nobody knows what's going to happen, but more along, it might come down. And sure enough, it did come down, bounced right off of this level. Coming up, last night I did a video, I think for my group and also for my YouTube members, where I'm saying that this is the decision point. And so once it bounces up, then here's our decision point. And here we're going to see if in fact it's going to make a lower high or continue coming up, then finding this as support. So what we're doing every single time, we're treating this level by level. We can have an overall thought process of what might happen, but Nobody knows what's gonna happen until after the fact, because you always hear those guys. Yes, you want a long right here, and if you want a long here, well, now we have a range. You short here, and then you. It's easy to say that after the fact, but when you're in the moment, and let's say you do long here, and then it dumps, it's like, oh, well, where's your range at now? So it's really easy to do this after the fact, but when you're in the moment, literally level by level.
Right.
And that's what we're doing here. Price came down eventually, which is good. Bounced off of the area which we thought it might bounce from, which it did. Came over here to the decision point where it has to decide, is it going to come down or go up, which it is. And now we need more time. We need more data to see if it's going to come down, not only break this trend line, but also break this level. If it does, then we have an extremely strong high possibility that it'll come down here, take this area, and then since it's here, why not take this? And then our key level is 78,258. I'm not sure if y'all can see these numbers, so let me go ahead and make it a little bit larger. But our key level is 78,258. And if it breaks this, man, we're coming, in my opinion, down to this zone. It could bounce it anywhere it wants. But my target area is 71,780. Now, if you want more information about this, yeah, I know. If you want more information on this, make sure to tune in every single day. I go live multiple times a day. And here's where I'm thinking, since the price went up, kind of went sideways, and then if it would have continued up with a very small retracement, and then now everybody's FOMO, oh, we're going to 100K, we're going to 150, then everything starts coming up, and then once it finds a spot to roll over, it's going to come down really hard. More than likely, we have a higher percentage likelihood of it coming down sharp due to the fact that it hasn't retraced. Every price action needs to do two things. One, when it goes up, it needs to come down. When it goes down, it needs to come up. Unless it's a rug pull, then it just goes down. But those are the two things it needs to do. So if it only goes up and then sideways and up and side and then up, that's not good. So that's when you get these massive drops. For example, Exhibit A, up, boom, no retracement. Here would have been a nice retracement, about 50%. Continue up, retracement about 50%. But it just straight up. And then when that happens, when it does roll over, boom. So this is what I'm trying to warn y'all about. Let's see here. This right here, just more training and teaching than I do. Talking about a guy who loves to trade on the 1 minute time frame. He does one candle, and then the next candle prints right here, and then he makes a bull flag out of it. If you see anybody doing that, just be careful. Be warned that that is the most dangerous thing to do. You cannot do a flag, because anytime you're doing any kind of patterns, I don't trade patterns, but I did learn those. The first thing is you want to have these trend lines where there's pivots. What's a pivot? When the price action goes up and changes direction. So this is a pivot. This is a pivot. Same and same. This is when you can use the trend line. A valid pattern, a valid trend is when you have at least 2 touches on one side and potentially 3 touches on the other. When the price action is going up and it hasn't pivoted yet, here we could do a trend line if there was, another touch or whatever it was. But if, let's say, it's doing like this and the pattern is, or the price action is like this right here is not a valid trend line because this hasn't pivoted yet. It could turn here, or it could turn finally up here. So I see so many traders doing this where they'll do a trend line and they're saying that this is a whatever it is. Like, no, man, like this can still move. So,
and so
go ahead.
Well, you mentioned it 3 touches on it. Does it have to always be 3 touches? Maybe I'm missing something.
For starters, you need 2 touches for sure. You need 2 touches at least on one side. Then, you can have this to where it's potentially the bottom trend line because we don't know what's going to happen. Let's say we started charting it right here, and then we do this trend line because let's say we started charting it right here because we see these 2 touches, and then this is like, well, this might be a line. We don't know yet. Then it comes down and it touches it. It's like, okay, good. This is a trend line. And so if it breaks out, well, then you didn't get an actual 3 on one side, 2 on another, but at least you had 2 and 2. The point is, you don't want to have one and then make a trend line.
Right. Okay.
That's not good. And now the next question is, well, what time frame? Is it like the daily, or is it the 4 hour? Because you're going to have 6 candles print on the 4 hour time frame versus 1 candle on the daily. So
Right.
the smaller the time frame, the more volatility, the more ups and downs. So on a 15-minute, you're going to have a bunch of pivots versus on a 1 hour. The higher the time frame, the stronger the move. The higher the time frame, the stronger the levels of support resistance, the stronger the levels of trend lines, the stronger price action movement. Everything is stronger the higher you go up. So if you are charting this on a 5-minute, just know that you can increase the amount of fake outs, which means it just goes the opposite way, versus a higher time frame where you reduce your fake outs.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes good sense. That makes sense. And I would just want to say, Automatic Beats is in the house. He's saying, "Oh, I'm late." No, you're not late, brother. You're here. That's what matters. That's what matters. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate it. I didn't mean to cut you off there, Joe. Anything else you want to throw out about that?
No, just that, I'm in the short, but if it breaks above this, so what we want to do for this to start getting bullish is for it to break and retest, or at least stay above 84,250. I'm still bearish on this, and I will continue. Now it can go up, but macro, the bigger picture, I'm still bearish on this until it breaks my zone, which is 94,270 and also 91,965. Once the price action breaks out of this, then macro, the bigger picture, longer term, I'll be bullish. Until then, I'm still bearish, and I'll be trading longs and shorts in this zone until it breaks this level. Then it's like, all right, let's go. Moon mission. Strap
There
in.
you go.
So, yeah.
Yeah, we got the rockets right there from Automatic Beats. Yeah, T.I. Joe. That's right. That's right. All right. Well, I appreciate that insight, Joe. Appreciate that very much. And I'm hoping everyone else does as well. Listen, I see a few people just jumping in and a bunch of people on X. Appreciate that. Always appreciate people on X. And don't forget, if you are on X, watching on X, you can put comments in the chat and it will pop in here for me, and we'll shout you out. So go ahead and do that. And don't forget, smash up that like button. Appreciate you doing that. Now, I mean, we're talking Barrett. Let me pull this out of here for the moment. We're talking, bearishness, and we just showed the whale putting in that humongous short on Bitcoin. But there is still some positive news that I wanted to share, and I try to put both sides of it out there if I can. But I don't know. I'm kind of, I always want to try to be bullish about it because I'm bullish about the space as a whole.
I want to be bullish. Let's go.
Yeah. But all right, so let's start with this one. Okay, I just lost it. Here it is. Now we've probably, if you're on X, you've probably seen these similar memes right here. Basically, this is the housing prices, and in this case, getting more expensive via fiat dollars versus Bitcoin. I remember seeing this not that long ago, where these prices were about, I think, the same prices as far as fiat dollars are concerned. However, if you notice, like the last time I saw this one, in I think it was 2024, it was like 6.3 BTC or something like that. Look at this. Now down to 4.8 BTC for a house that you're talking 400K in fiat dollars. To me, that is bullish news right there, Joe. I mean, I know it's a simple meme, but that's, I don't know. I like that. That gives me a little bit of hopium. What about you?
Beautiful. I love seeing these, because you can see the value of the dollar literally going down. If you didn't do any shopping, you don't know what the cost of eggs are or nothing like that. But if you just see this, like, man, it costs $250 for this house, and then a few years later, $290, and then now $400, and that's it just keeps on for the same house. It just keeps on going up.
Yeah, that isn't because the house got any better. Yeah,
right. The labor, the materials, especially, everything's going up, and it's costing more money because the money is getting devalued. So, and Bitcoin this whole time it's increasing in price. Man, if I could turn back time, man, if I could just turn back.
Oh,
time.
I know, right?
Man,
I know. It makes you shake your head, man. But hey, hindsight's always 2020, right, Joe?
Very
Just
true.
like the charts. Yeah,
Very true.
you can see it afterward and say, yeah, I knew that. Yeah, no, well, did you though?
Right.
All right, one more. And now this. Oh wait, everything just froze up on me. Hang on. Come on, unfreeze. There we go. All right. This one I thought was a bit bullish. I mean, again, not U.S. news, but Brazil. Now we know what Brazil looks like. It ain't pretty down in Brazil. And right here, there's a bill just got proposed in Brazil to allow workers to take 50% of their wages in Bitcoin and crypto, up to 50% of their wage. I think that's huge bullish right there on a global scale. I mean, who's to say if it passes or not? But that's awesome. That's awesome. Any 2 cents about that, Joe? By all means, jump right in.
Yeah, for me, extremely bullish because that just means more Bitcoin's being bought. So I mean that's a great thing. And you know, for all the like athletes, the football players, and everybody else who took Bitcoin last season, and then of course you know the price came down, so everybody's you know questioning those athletes like you know was it really a good choice? And then of course when it did go up, you know they go back on the news like yeah it was a great choice, and that's
exactly.
what it is. You just sitting on it. Now, as far as the wages in Bitcoin, 50%, like I would hope this would lead to being able to purchase products because I mean, let's just say they do get the 50%. I mean, they still have to pay, you know, groceries and housing and everything else. So they're going to have to convert it to dollars unless now we can start paying with Bitcoin. And that would be a whole new era of, you know, I mean, it's already here. We're already doing it, but like on a mass scale. I think that'll be extremely beneficial to the space.
I agree. And yeah, beyond like El Salvador that's doing it right now and so on. Yeah, no, I agree with you. Double thumbs on that. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Joe, you know what time it is.
Uh-oh. I took my medicine. Let's do it. I'm excited to see about the Doge. I'm excited to see about the Doge, man. I really am.
I'm excited to see where they are. But right now, first things first. Now, last Monday, Joe and I were not live. That was my fault. I was just so under the weather. I couldn't do it. But we are going to take a look at 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. Did I just set something off?
No, that was me. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
I was like,
that's okay. I was like, what the heck did I do? Doesn't take much to freak me out here. Anyway, all right. So 2 weeks ago, when I was live, we had 36,549 billion in the national debt. So there we go. Again, and it's still going up, which kind of saddens me a little bit. But I get it, I guess. But I want to see this sucker start slowing down and going in the other direction. But right now, here is the live look at the U.S. debt clock. 36,607 billion. And so that's an increase of about 58 billion. So say average, we've been averaging somewhere since the new administration came in, somewhere around 30 billion every week is what we've been averaging, which is less than we've seen in the previous administration, where we had, you know, weeks of like 110 billion and so on and so forth. But I guess there's something to be said for the consistency of around 30 billion, I guess. Even though I would like to see less than 30 billion. I don't know, Joe. What say you about that?
Man, I mean, there's nothing to say. One thing that I do want to see is with all this savings, and I would be very curious to see what, because you can't do it in one day. We know that.
Well,
Granted,
fair
they've
enough.
been like, it's been going up forever. I would like to see how it is in like maybe 3 months and then 6 months, so like every quarter, to kind of get
Yep.
a feel of how it's looking. It's kind of like the same thing if you're trying to gain muscles or trying to lose weight. You can't look at yourself every single day. Like, it has to be like, oh, in a week
Yes.
or in a month. So the same thing with this. And it's so funny too, like a bunch of people after a month of the president being in, then they're like, well, we still haven't seen, the price of eggs are up and
Eggs. Oh,
still up, and the gas is still up.
yes.
I was like, do you remember who was president before him? Like, you can't. It's not like, oh, he's president, everything gets 50% off. No, it takes time,
It doesn't work that way, Joe. What?
But
Come on.
it's so funny. It's so funny that they're complaining that he hasn't reduced everything, but they weren't complaining when it was increasing.
Yeah, right. And it's kind of funny though. Now that it's I'm glad you brought that example up. If you've looked at some of the latest numbers coming out of the government, gas prices starting to roll over and go down. Egg prices starting to roll over and go down. Imagine that. You don't kill chickens, you can get eggs. Things are
Right.
crazy. Call me absolutely crazy. Let's see. We got some
Well,
new
real
people
quick.
coming in.
Real quick.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. This week was the first time I didn't buy eggs. Because normally when I buy eggs, I get like 2 or 3 dozen.
Oh.
And I love eggs. And this week, and I don't eat 3 dozen in 1 week, just for everybody knows. But anyway, when I do buy, I buy a lot. And this time around, it was like, man, do I want to spend like, 30, 40 bucks or whatever it is, it's like, as I'm not going to do it this time. But and it's so funny too when I'm putting the eggs in, because it's at least 2 cartons or maybe even 3. When I'm putting it in the fridge, man, I'm treating it like it's a newborn baby.
Oh, like
I'm not
a
gonna drop it,
baby. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna drop it. Yeah.
I understand. We're gonna go back and take a look at the Doge numbers in a minute, but I want to just shout out a couple of people. Miss Crypto Bedell in the house. Always appreciate you coming in here. You are awesome. Yes, appreciate you very much. And I love automatic beats. I was a big steroid.
There you go.
Oh man, always a good laugh with automatic beats. I love it. And BC Port Corp, I didn't expect to see you. I figured you'd be driving. Did you stay home sick today? I know you were pretty under the weather on your live stream this morning. I caught it after the fact, but I feel bad. Hopefully that isn't a leftover remnant from Friday night. But we had, for those who don't know, yeah, we had BC Port Corp. We were fortunate enough to have him on Crypto on the Rocks this past Friday. And I love having him there because you want to know what? We get some great conversations going on.
Dude is incredibly smart.
Yes, indeed.
Like if I didn't see him laugh, I would be like, man, I hope I don't ever get into his little book, because the really smart people, like, you don't want to get them upset. This dude, but he's smart, he laughs, funny, all this, man. But dude is crazy smart. So if you're not watching him, definitely watch him. I normally watch him when I stay up all night, but yeah, he's, and that's on Piper Academy. That's their morning show. What was it, like 7 a.m. Eastern time?
He just changed it because of his new job.
6:30.
They're starting at 6:30.
6:30. Yes. That's right.
Yes, 6:30. And well, hey, listen, dude, you're great. I appreciate it. He actually did invite me to go on, and now I've got to figure out, okay, I got to get to bed earlier so I can get up earlier so I can look like I know what I'm talking about without having a bunch of coffee in me. I'm bad enough now at 11 o'clock. I mean, it's like, holy cow, on a break. Oh, okay, great. Awesome. Appreciate you stopping in on the break, BC. Appreciate it, man.
Corp is living my dream. I've always wanted to do what he's studying to do. Always wanted to do it, and just never did. But
there's something to be said for that free ranging, driving the country. Yeah, something to be said for that, man. Something to be said for that. I agree. I just want to acknowledge, so we'll jump back to numbers here real quick. I just want to acknowledge the Doge clock, because again, Doge has been added to the US debt clock. And look at this. Look at this. We're at $211 billion in savings. And they are not even, or maybe they're just over now, 2 months of activity trying to root out all this waste in our government. So I can't wait to see what the final number ends up being, because again, they have a time limit, 2026, if memory serves. Correct me, anybody in the live chat, if I got that date incorrect. July of 2026, I think it is. And I can't wait to see what that final number and it just ends up being. And I love seeing that number go up. I mean, I know you do too, Joe.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I'm really happy to see just all the stuff that they're doing. And it's so funny, too, that all the people who are making all this noise, like, you have to, I mean, I'm sure they're all going to get investigated. I would, if I had that power and I'm trying to save people money and investigate on all of this useless stuff and where's the money really going, and all these people are trying to stop me. Guess what? I'm going to be looking at you, and you, and you.
Yeah.
And full investigations. Right. Why would you want, it's like, you know, you're the fire department. There's a building that's on fire and you're putting it out. And then there you have a whole bunch of people saying, no, turn off the water, turn off the water.
Turn off the water.
Like, I'm trying to put out the fire. And that's what they're doing. They're trying to restrict the water. So, yeah.
Yep. It should make you like scratch your head at the very least. And it beyond that, it should be like, you should be pissed off that they're doing it. You should be pissed off. Just saying. And BC Port Corp just said, there you go. Always time trade intuition. There it is. There it is.
I'll probably do it. Maybe. I don't know. I think it's too late for me though.
I don't know. You like trading, so I don't know, buddy.
Yeah, I love trading. Like I don't know. I probably have to have a touch screen, have a big old steering wheel, you know, or drive like this, and then
be
a touch screen with the charts and everything.
I can see that. I can actually see that. All right, guys. We've touched on Bitcoin. We touched on the debt, the fear and greed, and so now we're going to talk altcoins. And Joe's going to look at some of these charts, and you'll see why in a minute. And then we're going to talk about some of the key economic indicators coming this week here in the U.S. That will affect the markets as far as cryptocurrency are concerned. And while I'm talking about that, I want to put a huge shout out to Army Piper. He took part of his Sunday yesterday to help me put together a video talking about these macroeconomic indicators and how they affect cryptocurrency into a video that's going to be coming soon. You've heard myself, BC, talk about it, where I'm putting together kind of a legacy series for newbies coming into the space, because whether we like it or not, and whether it's, right now we're down, once things start going up, people are coming in, they're FOMOing in, and I'd like to at least have some base knowledge of information out there. And Army Piper was gracious enough to take time out of his Sunday to help me do that. So a shout out to him. Again, link to his information in the description. So I just wanted to take that second. Well, let's start this. And Joe, you know how I feel about Solana.
Yes,
but
you love it.
Yeah, it's like my favorite altcoin here. But you know what? You got to put out what you put out. You know, that they just had a birthday a few days ago. And this article right here, again, links to everything I've showed you is in the description. Go ahead and check this all out. This was a very favorable article to them. But okay, 5 years. The only piece, and they went back because, it found its roots in the COVID-19 pandemic and this, that, and the other thing. And it highlights the Solana putting out, hey, look what we've done tweet, and all good, all good. But this is the part that okay, here's my poo-pooing on Solana. Sorry. Oh my God, you got to do what you got to do right here. While Solana's origins can be tracked back to late 2017, when, and I am not even going to try that name, released the white paper outlining a timekeeping method for blockchains called proof of history. And then it goes on to, but it wasn't launched until 2020. Proof of history, Solana, how's that even possible? They go down too much. Just saying. There's my poo-poo on Solana, but happy fifth birthday. I guess I'm sorry. You guys know how I feel about Solana. Let's see. Oh, here we go. BC saying VR headset, augmented view. See, there you go, Joe. He's giving you
I want to buy
suggestions.
those. I was thinking about spending like a lot of money on a huge TV so I can have it as a monitor, so I can have a bunch of screens on one TV. And it's like, man, I can spend that same money, buy a VR set, and have a ginormous, screen. And I was like, I don't know. But yeah, that's pretty cool.
And then, as usual, automatic beats with Solana to the moon, but rivaled by BC Port Corp Solana to zero. Listen, I don't think Solana is going to zero. Unfortunately, too many things going on the outside for Solana, like these ETF filings and so on and so forth, which I think is a huge mistake. But again, not to go. This isn't meant to be a poop on Solana stream. All right, let's go into, and then Joe's going to actually bring up a couple of these charts. But first thing, I saw this. President Trump's World Liberty Financial invests $4 million in Avalanche and Mantle. And if you go down into, and I'm not going to go through this whole thing, but basically they invested $2 million in each. So total of $4 million. And I do want to highlight this right here. This pushed total holdings of, again, this is World Liberty Financial, to 340 million, but the DeFi project faces an unrealized loss of approximately 118 million. That's huge. And again, remember, they did a lot of that pump up, and Joe and I have talked about that here on this stream with regard to that. But I asked Joe if he wouldn't mind taking a look at those two charts. So you guys can see now that they've dropped a couple mil in each one of those bad boys. Maybe there's something to take a look at there. Joe, you ready for those?
Yep.
All right, here we go. Bring up your chart.
Yeah, so these are going to be pretty quick. Now, whenever the Trump puts money into these coins, you would expect it's going to be bullish news. It's going to go to the moon, everything else. But because we're not in the market, like bull market, like where just a simple update on a website will spike the coin like 20-40%. Because we're not in that moment, it's not doing anything. It really isn't. Right now, this is AVAX on the hourly time frame, and you can see, price has gone up, down, up, down. We've been looking at this one. This is actually a YouTube chart. We get this one asked quite a bit. And we're basically, we're in this small little range right here. We're in this small range. And if it does break below this range, and the lowest part that I would like to see it go is here. Now, notice I'm talking about downside. I'm not talking about upside. I'm talking about downside. So if it does break this level of 1794, what we're looking at is possibly it coming down to at least this level, around 1737, and then maybe even to here, 1586. Hopefully it doesn't go lower than that, but if Bitcoin does something, even though Trump is doing this investments, like these coins, they're not respecting, they're only respecting Bitcoin. So it doesn't matter about Trump or anything like that. Now, what I would recommend, if you're thinking about entering this, set your alert at 1990, not financial advice, of course, and then wait for a 4-hour candle. Let's do a 1 hour. We'll do a 1 hour candle. above this 1907. And then, so this is what this drawing is. You want to have the candle close above this level after your alert goes off. If not, if it closes underneath it and your alert goes off, you're not going to want this, because more than likely it's going to come back into this range until it either breaks out again or comes down. So this is pretty much my thought process on AVAX. And these coins, all these coins right now, none of them look strong. Not really. I mean, we're just doing lower highs, lower lows.
Right.
Right now we're kind of leveling out. So this might be the bottom, but it just depends on Bitcoin. Everything right now is Bitcoin dependent.
Absolutely. And Joe, I mean, I would just want to throw out personally, I like AVAX. I like long term. I like it. So, you know, even though it's looking kind of right now, it doesn't mean that you know, in the long term. And I'm assuming you think the same way.
You just brought up a great point. So this is more of a trader mindset that I just gave you. For an investor mindset, you know, something like, you know, I like it. It's a great project, you know, great community. I like what it's done and what it's going to do. You could enter now. You could enter now, not financial advice, and then put a lower entry, 30% lower, you know, which would be way down here. And I like the 30 number, because normally when we get retraces, the first one that we hit is around 30. So that would be right around 1279. Let me do Alt J. So you could enter. So let's say you had $100 or 1,000 or 10,000, whatever it is. So let's just say it's $100. What I would recommend, sure, why not? Put in $30 right here, because you never know. Price could go up from here. Have another $30 right here, because once again, we never know. Price could do a flash, kind of like this. I would just dumped and then dumped again. Well, you know, if let's just say it dumps and then dumps again, boom, you hit this one and it comes up right away. Well, now your average entry is much lower. And then what I would do is one more, and this all depends on the market cap. I'm not sure what the market cap is on this one. I haven't looked at it in a while for the market cap, but maybe on this one, do one for 50%. You know, for the lower market caps, you want to have it like 70%. You want to have the first one around 30 to 40%, and then the second one around 70% if it's a lower market cap. And then just, you know, put the balance here. And then if it hits it, great. But you have the mindset, if it goes lower, that's good. I'm happy that it went lower because I can buy more at a discounted price, versus a trader mindset. Oh, crap, man, it went down another 30%. Like, do I sell it? Should I get into another coin? So you have to have the different mindsets dependent. You have to have a plan. That's pretty much what it comes down to.
Yep. I agree. And I'm just going to bring up BC's comments here. Anytime big players buy, usually get sold on retail. Sold on by retail. It's a pretty accurate pattern. Yes, that's very true. And right here, we need a financial advice by Joe Time. Buy BTC and HODL. End of financial advice.
That's funny.
There you go. Are you still good to do Mantle?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I got about 5 minutes, so I can do Mantle.
Yeah, we're going over to Joe's stream, so hopefully we can get through this. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah. So Mantle, I do like it. This one looks actually pretty strong. This one looks much stronger than AVAX. So for AVAX, now the reason it looks different or stronger than AVAX, because here we had lower highs, lower lows, lower high. We haven't established a turnaround point. Right now, we're possibly starting a turnaround point. We don't know yet. We got to wait, get more data, more candles. But if we look at Mantle, you know, this is on the daily time frame. The other one was the hourly for AVAX. So we're looking at the daily, but bigger picture. It's come down, up, and then did this number down, and then now it's starting to possibly reverse. Now, because it's gone up, before entering, I would like to see it pull back, and then as it's curving up, then we could enter the trade. Again, very important, not financial advice. Then we could enter the trade. Let's go ahead and do this as a circle. right here. And then we could wait for it to break wherever it makes a pivot. But since it's pretty close to this major resistance level, then we can just add up here. Now, if the price action comes down, let's say does this, comes down, comes up, decision point again, comes down and breaks this level, then we just got to wait. We just got to wait to see if, in fact, it comes up. And then now we can buy at the bottom of this zone. But we do not want it to break this level. If it breaks this bottom level, we're looking at potentially a pretty good retrace. Like, I don't think it'll come down here. Like, I don't think so. But a good area for it to go down to is this nice little range that we got right here. Let's do it right here like this.
Yep, I see it. Yep.
So that's what I would do. I mean, we'll see. But this one is looking pretty nice. We just need to retrace. It's already moved. We just need to retrace, and then wherever it ends up curving, then we can enter the trade. Now, a question that a lot of people have is, okay, well, I'm on the daily time frame. Like, do I have to wait like a week for it to curve up? It depends. If you want a stronger move, then yes. But if you want to try to get in faster, which would increase your risk because you're going in faster, there's more volatility the lower time frame you go. But the higher the risk, the higher the reward. So
right.
it just depends on your risk management if you want to try. Now here, once again, I do think that it might, nobody knows, it might come down to this zone right here. So if you see it coming down and then starting to curve up, and then on a 15-minute time frame, I like doing this on a 15-minute time frame, and it starts curving up and it breaks a high, and this is what I mean by that. So it comes down, comes up, and then it starts coming down again, and then it comes up and it breaks this high, then this is when I would enter. And that could be like somewhere in here on a 15-minute time frame. That's
right.
what I would do. That way you're managing your risk because you're not just entering as it's coming down. You're waiting for it to break a high. Then you enter, and you don't enter all at once. You enter like a third or a half of your investment and just see what happens. Does it continue going up? Retrace, then break the next high? Boom, you put your other half in. Or if it just dumps for whatever reason, Bitcoin does whatever, well then, and your stop loss gets hit, well then you only lose that percentage of half of your investment. So that's
Okay.
my thought process.
Fair enough. I'm gonna just go over here real quick because I know we're gonna try and pull these. Hang on, let me share that. Did it pop up? Yeah, there it is. And so I'm going a little bit out of order, but that's okay. Joe's time is limited here now because almost time for him to head over to his channel. And by the way, Alexandra G saying she's heading out. She's got to go to work. Appreciate you being here, Alexandra G.
Yes,
always,
thank you.
always. Thank you. The reason I was going out of order here a little bit was because we have some token unlocks on a bunch of altcoins, in particular Ape, FTN, and IMX. Joe, do you think you got time to go through those charts quick? If you do, okay, then I'm going to bring that back up, and then I'll close it out when you head over to your stream.
All right.
Why
Very
is that
important with token unlocks. The mindset you have to have on the token unlocks. Now, I've been kind of bamboozled by the token unlocks because normally in a market such as this, the coins jump. It dumps because people had these coins for probably years, and their price that they bought it at was, let's say, 1 cent. And even though the prices have retraced 30, 80%, whatever it is, it's still way higher. So they bought it at 1 cent and it's now at $1.20. They're going to sell unless they sell only half of it because they made a lot of money and then hold that other half because they know that potentially that could give them a whole bunch more money because of where we're at in the cycle. Now, if we're in the bear market, absolutely horrible, you better believe they're going to sell all of it. They're going to sell all of it. The price is going to dump more than likely. And then in the bull market, when everything is going great, everything is up, and we have token unlocks, you might see a small retracement. Might. And that's because everybody is so bullish, they're just buying coins. They don't even care what it is.
Right.
Oh, it's
They're
up
just,
80%. I'm buying it. Like, they don't even
yep.
care. So
Yep.
that's the mindset you have to have when it comes to token unlocks. Now, in reference to this one for Ape, this one, same thing. It's just straight down. We're doing lower lows, lower highs. I personally would wait about 30%, and I would set an alert right here. It's underneath this, so I'll do it right here. So I'm gonna have to wait like almost 40%. And for some of you, that's way too much, but it's reducing your risk. And the reason for that is because the price could easily, even though we have that token unlock, it can come down, come up, and even after the token unlock, it can do this number, and then now you bought it, or you bought the dip after the token unlock, wherever it goes to, and then now you're just waiting. You're waiting for several days, several weeks before eventually this hits. When this hits your alert at 0.705 or 0.7045, now your alert hits and you broke out of this zone, which is a key level. Manage your risk, reduce your risk, set alerts, knowing that Ape might come down. Have alerts, put alerts, underneath this low, or maybe maybe even lower. Let's see what the price range tool says from here to here. About 20%. That's good. Have an alert right here, and then on the 15-minute or maybe the hour time frame, you want, if you're going to enter this, you want to make sure it breaks a high. So that's for Ape. I got about 2 more minutes.
Yeah. Sorry, Joe.
Oh no, it's good. I love this. Like, if y'all want charts, like next week, or even on my channel, like come to my channel, ask for charts. I make people money. Now, granted, is it financial advice? No, but I show you how to do all this stuff. This coin right here, Fast Token FTN, I would stay away from it. I don't care what it is. This is a horrible coin, very low market cap. You can tell that by
That
all
chart
these
looks
clicks.
like crap.
Horrendous. Yes. So this one I would stay away from. The next one is IMX. This one looks decent because it actually is in our bounce zone, and it's actually looking like it's wanting to bounce out. So this actually looks very strong. I would wait till after the token unlock, because what might happen might come up, prior to the token unlock, and then maybe come down to about 50%, and then potentially come up. Once it breaks this level, you could enter the trade. It would be higher risk as opposed to waiting for your alert to go off, which is 20% higher than where it's at right now. But you're reducing your risk because when the alert goes off, let's say, if you wait for the alert to go off, you will reduce your risk. Because now what you're doing is you're giving it time for candles to form. What are the candles doing? Are they finding support? Your alert goes off, you look, and you, oh, wow, it gained support. Let me enter the trade once it retraces and then continues upward. So you would enter, I'd say here. No, I'd enter here. So that's my thought process on that. I do have to run so I can get my stream up and running, and then we'll see y'all there.
Yes, we'll see you in about 5 there, Joe.
All right.
Thank you.
See you soon. Take care.
All right. So super thanks to Joe for doing all those charts today. Again, that's not what we normally do. We usually do a lot more talking about these different things, and there's a couple that I want to follow up and finish up on. And as I just put in the chat, hang tight, because in about 5 minutes when I end the stream, we are going to head straight over to Joe, and we're going to go raid that stream. And when we get there, CCM raid in the comments. I appreciate that. All right, let's get back to this real quick. And so Joe just went through, well, all but one of those token unlock. Oh, no, actually, he made it through IMX. So yeah, we've gone through all the token unlocks and some of the key economic data that's coming out this week. If you were on Piper Academy this morning, you heard him talking about these things, but let's just touch on it. So we have the retail sales data coming out today. Actually, it's probably already out here at this point. The housing starts, so basically permits for new housing, that kind of thing. Wednesday, the FOMC meeting, Fed's rate decision. I'm trying to rearrange my schedule so I can actually go live with that. But as of this moment in time, I'm not 100% sure that I can actually do that. So we're going to have to see. Stay tuned. I will keep you informed both on X and, of course, on YouTube. And then initial jobless claims right here coming in on Thursday. So we've got a bunch of key economic data coming forward this week from the U.S. And again, as you hear Piper beating the drum all the time, these economic indicators are very much influential on the markets as a whole. And hey, cryptocurrency is just another market, right? And I want to bring this up again. It was more meant to touch on just so, the U.S. positive about crypto now versus, previous administration talking about we're going to, sue everything that moves and, regulations for enforcement action. We are turning the corner on that. And to that point, the SEC drops all charges against Polkadot. I know we have, and probably still in the chat right now, Polkadot fans. I know Crypto Billy, big fan on Polkadot. And so I thought this would be worthy to make sure that, bam, here you go. SEC, done with that. Now, there is one more thing I do want to bring up, and then we're going to I'll give you the update for the week and then head over to Joe. We're going to go raid his channel. We're going to take a quick look at this post from the Kabisi letter, the Kabisi newsletter. Okay. So US, and this is what we were talking about earlier when we're like, listen, the US has to bring down rates. And by the way, approximately 60% of you said that you believe there will be no interest rate cut in the poll that I had on this stream. Thank you for taking part in that. But we definitely need to bring rates down because we have a lot of debt that needs to be refied, because it isn't like we're going to be paying it off. We can't even handle the current interest payments as they are. But just to touch on this, U.S. interest expense on national debt hit a record $1.2 trillion over the last 12 months. To put this in perspective, defense spending was $900 billion during that same time frame. If rates remain flat, which, yeah, that ain't happening, I don't think. Interest payments are set to hit $1.5 trillion by the end of the year, basically doubling in just 4 years. Even if the Fed cuts rates by 100 basis points, interest costs will hit approximately $1.3 trillion in 2025. That is insane. And that's with a rate cut that I don't think we're going to see. Just saying. Just putting that out there. Anyway, this all assumes the economy will avoid a recession or any other material economic slowdown. And if you follow Piper, he has been beating the drum with regard to recession. So, yeah. I don't know. And Uncle Jesse, yes, thank you for putting the link to Joe's stream in the live chat. Appreciate that. But we are going to be heading over there in a minute as I wrap this up. So let me give you the quick breakdown for the rest of this week. I am going to be going live tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Eastern time, with a live stream. Not sure on the topic yet. Just found out that Jar is not quite going to be ready to restart Matrix Money Podcast. He's still doing that move. So we're going to give him the time he needs to make that move happen. And then I'll be dropping a couple videos throughout the course of this week. And then, as always, I will let you know if I'm going to go live for the FOMC. Not looking good, but I'm going to try. And finally, as always, Friday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time, Crypto on the Rocks. Every Friday. Love to have you join me, and I know a lot of you do. All right, that's it. We're heading out. We're going to go see T.I. Joe, and we're going to go and raid his stream. Make sure when you get over there, you're putting in CCM raid. Okay? CCM raid. Appreciate that. And thanks for being here today. We'll see you again next Monday, 11 a.m. Eastern time. All right. Take care, everybody.